I'll tell you, my mom watched it with us. She's like, that was dumb. What happened?
Grandma's based.
I'm going to bed.
Grandma's based.
She's like, that's it? That was stupid.
Okay, I'm on Grandma's side with this.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Simpletons podcast review. I am Trista Simpleton, along with...
I'm Nate.
I'm Charlie Simpleton.
I'm Lem Simpleton.
Today, we are going to be talking about Leave the World Behind, a Netflix
Boy, I sure wish I could do
movie.
that.
What?
Leave the world behind. That'd be nice.
Go off.
So left.
This is a 2023 film about a family's getaway to a luxurious rental home takes an ominous turn when a cyber attack knocks out their devices and two strangers appear at their door. That is like the worst synopsis of this movie ever.
It's not wrong though.
Right. This is definitely an interesting one, and I'm very excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. It's definitely been talked about quite a lot online, or at least from what I've seen. Very controversial in a way, and also just a weird topic point for some people. Nate, you should take it over from here to give some more insight if you have any.
Oh, insight on the movie?
I don't know, anything.
Well, the cast was stellar, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had Julia Roberts, of course. You had Ethan Hawke. You had Mohammed something or another. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he's been in some really good shows. Everything from Luke Cage on Netflix to just a bunch of high-profile movies the past few years. He's an amazing actor.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, he's yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, really good. I mean, they're all good. They're all just fantastic actors in this. And of course, you know, you had the Baconator in there, which made it work.
Even though he's only in it for
It was
10
so
minutes.
random
Yeah, I know,
to me
but
for some
dude,
reason.
did he play the best freaking redneck?
Yes.
Loving. I'm telling you what, he was like,
I think
wow, you nailed it, dude.
Really found his calling right there.
You did, man. I was like, wow, that is so good. But do I have things to say about this movie?
Start with the things you liked.
Yeah, well, the problem with it is I don't know where to begin because the movie didn't know where to begin.
Yeah.
There were way too many themes going on in this movie. They're all interesting themes, but there were overwhelming themes. What I liked about the movie, I liked the sense of isolation that the movie gives. That's the point of the movie. There's a sense of isolation that's really good. What I also liked about the movie, I liked the interplay between the Julia Roberts character, what was his name again?
Mahershala.
Yes, those two right there on screen, the dynamics were freaking amazing. Just mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. Ethan Hawke pretty much did Ethan Hawke. That's fine. But no, I like Ethan Hawke, but he did Ethan Hawke, you know?
This is Ethan Hawke plays Family Dad.
Yeah.
In a
like
crisis.
What I also liked is that they did a very good job of moment by moment just giving you little piece after little piece after little piece after little piece of what's going on. So you don't know what's going on, and even when you think you start to know what's going on, you don't know what's going on until the very end. And then you still maybe don't know what's going on. But what I didn't like was that there were way too many themes, and they're all valid themes. And the movie was over 2 hours long, but I still felt like they could have maybe picked one thing to really get deeper into. There were racial themes. There were class themes. There were themes about us having too much reliance on technology. There was themes about city people and country people and you know, conservatives and liberals, and all of these themes were in this movie, and I'm just like, can you just concentrate on one thing? Because this is overwhelming to try to hash out in 2 hours, even though it was still 2 hours long, in that time frame. And so even though I really admired the premise, I think the execution fell flat just a little bit for me.
Well, and then you get those epic videos, you know, like the would take you're working on a theme, and then they'll move the camera and have it do swirls and take it up in the
Yeah, they were
sky,
amazing.
and
They were
make
really
you
good.
dizzy, and
Yeah.
I mean these things were great. And this is in the interludes,
Yeah.
and then they'd pan out, and all of a sudden you see a backyard of deer,
Yeah.
or you're at the beach, and man, that boat's getting really close, and oh my gosh, and it's all beautiful.
Yeah. I found
Right.
myself watching the movie going, man, these drone
Drone
footage
shots?
would not have existed 20 years ago in movies. The things you can do with drones these days are amazing.
Oh my gosh! I just thought that's the good part was that it was beautiful. Like all the way through, they did a good job cutting back and forth, tight shots on the people, and like really getting a vibe of what's going on between everybody. So you could actually get in on every conversation, and you felt like you were really part of the story, just in the dramatic effect for filming, as well as like being. Every transition was like looked really good. I think they did the technical part spot on. But again,
Yeah.
it needed more than super glue to get this thing like be cohesive.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree with Charlie on the technical spot. I mean, even my wife was watching this and she's like, okay, that was an interesting transition and stuff. The only shot I really didn't like that much, and maybe it's because I wasn't feeling good, but when she goes in the vacation home the first time, starts walking up the stairs, and you have the drone doing this whole
Yeah, that was a
rigmarole,
little
I was
nausea.
like,
I thought that was
this-
so
yeah,
good.
that-
It's
I-
very
loved it.
cool.
Oh, that made me so dizzy. I mean, technically speaking, it's a cool shot, but I liked all the acting. The actors were very good at making me feel uncomfortable the whole time, especially the little girl. She was very good at being spaced. I don't know how to explain it. She just made you uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah.
The girl reminded me of the girl that was on Hereditary. You guys
Yeah.
guys all watch
I
that
have
movie?
not
The one,
seen it.
the little girl that, and gets beheaded in the movie. Yeah, yeah. It reminded me of her. She was great.
Dang. I haven't seen that movie, so I wouldn't know. But
Aww.
It's an A24 movie. It's brilliant.
yeah, fair enough. I think the characters were good at relating to different people. Like, I didn't really like the mom that much. I was like, this lady is being a jerk. I don't like her. She should chill out. But my wife's like, no, I'm fully on her side. Two random people she doesn't know shows up and my kids are around. I don't like that. So I think that's good that, we all related with different characters and stuff. But yeah, it was a long movie and I didn't understand the point to a lot of it.
So I agree with you guys a lot about a lot of the points. I enjoyed this movie in a weird way, not in the same way most people who agreed with this movie as much. You're right, there are a ton of different ideas going around in this movie, and a lot of them are really good. I feel like they
Yeah.
could have taken out a few and it would have streamlined it a lot better. This movie is obviously very polarizing online. I've seen it pop up all the time when it first appeared on Netflix, and there was a lot of people talking about it. Did any of you get kind of jump scared by Barack Obama's name in the credits?
Well, I don't get jump scared because I guess I don't think Barack Obama is Satan incarnate, so I didn't get jump scared. But
I just
That
I just
not
was
what
really
jump scared me though.
But the thing was, he was in the credits, and Lemuel said this, like, what is Barack and Michelle trying to get across here? I don't know if they're trying to get across anything. If you read the credit, they're producers, which means they put up money for this movie, and that's about all they did. So I don't think they had much influence into the actual making of the movie beyond that.
From what I understand, it's based off of a book, and it's a recommended reader from Barack Obama, which is why
Okay.
he and Michelle
Gotcha.
produced it.
Yeah.
I would be very curious to read the book and see how the similarities and stuff, because I do think it's a very intriguing film. It's obviously very on point with today's current climate, and that's why it's so polarizing.
Sure.
But it is dragged down movie-wise if we're not looking at the political part of it. A lot of its points really drag it down and slow down the plot, and you're stuck
Yeah.
sitting there waiting for something to happen, which
Yeah.
can be a really great effect in some instances, but not for the whole film. The little girl and the mom and pretty much all the characters are kind of portraying stereotypes of each their own. You got the white woman who is immediately skeptical of the two African American people that show up unannounced. You have them, the African Americans, the owners of the house, who are also really skeptical of the white people. Can they trust them if stuff goes down? you have the girl that is like just completely oblivious to everything going on pretty much and is just concerned with her iPad, and then the boy just being weird. Like
being a horny teenage boy.
Yeah. They all played like very stereotypical caricatures of each other, which I think was the point, to kind of show the different perspectives. But I also think it worked when they're doing something, like when they're interacting with each other. I found it very intriguing as kind of a thought experiment. Like if somebody were to imagine what would happen in this kind of a scenario, it feels very real in some aspects. Like I could totally see a lot of the situations in the film playing out, but at the same time there's so many happening in the film that it's like, okay, I don't think all of this would happen all at once. But a lot of it did feel really realistic in a way. So I found it very intriguing. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but I would definitely be like, hey, you should see this just to get a kick out of it and see what you think.
Regardless of how much people try, good movies almost always generally end up having to go back into a 3-act structure. And in those 3-act structures, you've got it laid out by, certain aspects of that. And this movie tried to usurp that idea of a 3-act structure, and I don't think it did a good job. I mean, there was parts, obviously it labeled them. It was so blatant. It labeled the parts of the show. I think this movie would have really benefited from being a series, let alone not just a movie, because then you would have been able to hash out each one of these ideas in specific episodes instead of trying to throw it all into 120 minutes and saying, here we go, bleh, just throw up this entire premise onto our TV screens and have us accept it. Again, like we've said, on the technical aspects, on the acting and everything else, it's amazing. It's a really good show. As far as the script, as far as the plot is concerned, it just suffers from too much. And that unfortunately is the biggest problem with the movie. So I think we've still lost Charlie as far as his audio is concerned. But what we're going to do is we're going to have him hold up how many fingers for the score that he wants to give. So Charlie, why don't you go for... Oh, here he is!
Yeah!
3 stars from Charlie.
Nice.
That's not too bad. That's actually a pretty... I think that's a good score. Maybe might be a little high. We'll see what everybody else thinks. This is Trista's movie that she picked, so we're going to let her go last. Lemuel, you go next.
I think I'll also give it a 3. I think, technically speaking, you have to recognize it for what it is. For the acting, you have to recognize what that is. And the storytelling's all right. It's too much. That's what, it bogs itself down. That's all I can say about it. So 3 is probably fair.
You know what? Why don't you go ahead, Lemuel, in post-edit when you're doing this, and just basically take all of the words you just said and post them over my face. I'll mimic. Because that's exactly right. And we'll give it a 3 as well. Because, I don't have anything else to add. Trista, go for it.
I'm going to bump it up to a 3.5. I found this kind of movie very intriguing. Visually, it's amazing. The acting is really good. But again, like you guys have basically said, there's just too many ideas and too many statement pieces they were trying to throw in together. If they had just simplified it down to just 1 or 2 of these ideas, it still would have been just as good, if not better, to watch as a movie experience. So I'll have to say 3.5 for it.
Okay, so a 3, and a 3.5 for Trista. And I think Charlie has been writing something else. Do you have something else to say? Friends.
I swear, that was so weird.
The last part.
Yeah.
The last part.
I did not
go
like
watch
the girl.
movie, folks, and you'll understand what we're talking about when it comes to Friends. It's worth watching at least once. We're not trying to tell you not to go watch the movie. Go watch it and judge for yourself what you think. If you've already seen it and you want to tell us in the comments what you thought about this movie, please do so. If you don't think that we know what we're talking about, I like to see those comments the best. It's really funny what some of y'all said. We've had a few comments over the months that people are like, yeah, everybody else gives this a great score, and the simpletons give it this. Oh, you guys are a bunch of nerds. Whatever. It's our show, and we can say whatever the hell we want. So that's the way it is. All right, but please respond to us. We'd love to see you. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. Tell everybody else about our podcast. We'd love for you to tell everybody else. And please watch for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, that's all I'm asking for. Push our viewership up to 3 minutes. I
You can
am
do
Nate
it.
Simpleton, and Charlie is up there without any audio. There's Lemuel up there looking kind of lost, and Trista she's excited like she always is. She's got a big old smile on her face like life is good. All right, guys, have a great one. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.